ancient creators of Hyrule. Now, open the sealed door and send the evil incarnation of darkness into the void of the evil realm. You. Curse you, Zelda. Curse you, sages. Curse you, Link. Someday, when the seal is broken, that is when I will exterminate your descendants. Bye-bye! As long as the Triforce of Power is in my hand. Now we're in the sky. Somehow. Don't question it. Thank you, Link. Oh. Thanks to you, Ganondorf has been sealed inside the evil realm. Thus, peace will once again reign in this world. For a time. All the tragedy that has befallen Hyrule was my doing. I was so young, I could not comprehend the consequences of trying to control the sacred realm. I dragged you into it too. Now it is time for me to make up for my mistakes. You must lay the Master Sword to rest and close the door of time. However, by doing this, the road between times will be closed. Link, give the Ocarina to me. As a sage, I can return you to your original time with it. When peace returns to Hyrule, it will be time for us to say goodbye. Now, go home, Link. Regain your lost time. Home, where you are supposed to be. The way you are supposed to be. Thank you, Link. Off center again. Goodbye. And that's the end of the game. We finished The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. It was quite a ride, and this is a game that is deeply important to me in a lot of ways, so I'm glad that I was able to share it with you all here on my YouTube channel. As for what I have to say about the whole project, this is a game that I often see a lot of people have very passionate opinions about. Lots of nostalgia, lots of complicated opinions on the quality of the game. Because when this game came out, it was hailed pretty universally as one of the greatest video games ever made. And a lot of people still consider it to be one of the greatest video games ever made. A lot of people feel like it hasn't aged all that well and that it's not as good as other games that came after or even before. A lot of people consider it to be overrated. A lot of people hate that people consider it overrated. It's a very complicated game to talk about opinions on these days because of that. And honestly, I feel like both of those sides have a point. I feel like it's possible to subjectively prefer some of the other Zelda games, even just within the series, for example. It's possible to prefer those for what they do. But also to say that this game still stands out as just one of the most tightly, perfectly crafted games ever made. It knew what it was trying to be from the start, and every single element about it, good or bad, works in the sense that it makes it work towards that goal. Basically, everything about this game is woven together intricately. And it doesn't really do a whole lot of what it does wrong. So in that sense, it is one of the greatest triumphs of video game creation. But you could also argue that later games in the series became more ambitious and masterfully handled things that this game didn't attempt, because the technology was better or because they had new ideas about how to make them stand out. And other games that came later tried to do that and failed. Or at least failed subjectively. And the end result is you have a perfectly made game that may or may not be as good as other games that are less perfectly made. It's all subjective. And I still think that despite the fact that other games may have been more ambitious or more successful with ambitions, there's still a magic to this game. This game is just very pure. It just is. And I think that's why it succeeds so much. Also, this little moment in the credits sequence always felt nice to me. There's the sad Mido and King Zora because they lost people close to them. But maybe in a way they're still there, even if they aren't present physically. And now all the sages are making their way up to Death Mountain to look down over the birth of a new Hyrule. It's a nice scene. But, yeah. That's my complex and probably rambling, uninformed opinions on the game. It still has a magic to it to this day. And that makes it what it is. But all that celebrating taking place in one timeline that has been saved from 7 years of rule by Ganondorf, we've gone back to a new timeline. And this one has yet to experience any of that. And knowing what we know now, we might have a better way of preventing that. But it seems Navi has decided that we no longer need her. Now, we set off save the past and the future and all of time. And a familiar scene plays out once again. Princess Zelda in Hyrule Castle's garden, peeking in through the window. When Link arrives, but this time, who knows how things will play out. Maybe the future will change. Just maybe. This has been Somnia Respiratory Flux. Thank you for watching Let's Play The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time. I will see you next time when I unveil my next Let's Play. Thank you once again.